Hey traders, it's Jeffrey with Strategic Day Traders. Great to be with you again for another roundup of how we did this past week and a look at the news coming forward on the week ahead. As always, all the information provided here is for educational purposes only and is not an offer or a recommendation to trade futures, stocks, options, or Forex. For more information on the group or to see a little bit more about what we do, any special offers, please go to www.strategicdaytraders.com, and you can always email me directly at jeffrey@strategicdaytraders.com. Like and subscribe to the YouTube channel and so you can stay on top of how we're doing. I usually send these out on the weekend following the week and give you a breakdown of our daily results. So for those of you that are new, I will always follow a parabolic price action move on the Forex charts. I follow all of the 28 major and minor Forex pairs of the major global currencies, as well as gold and oil, as all of these tend to follow a nice parabolic move. And when I say a parabolic move, I'm looking for a swing from the low of this nice channel to the high and back down, high to low, with certain criteria. I'm setting up my charts regardless of the platform. You can use MetaTrader, you can use NinjaTrader, you can use TradingView, you can use any of the prop firm web-based charts like DXTrader. I do live sessions every week on Fridays and we get into some more detail, teach you how to set your charts up. But the biggest value is to just look at my signals where I'm expecting to get in, use those on your own charts, make your own decisions, and go ahead and take those trades. So here's how we set up our charts. These are the indicators that I use. I switch to Heikin-Ashi candles so I can follow trends much more easily. I use the Lux Algo Nadaraya Watson envelope. That is this nice channel. The green and the red are the standard settings right out of the box. By the way, you can get these right from luxalgo.com. Just click on envelopes and they are free for every single platform. When you put a second indicator and use a little bit wider envelope, that's what I have here with the white, and that helps me decide general areas of stop loss. Some people use an average true range, an ATR stop. That's fine too. I use the linear regression moving average to help me decide when to enter. So for example, if I'm getting into this entry right down here, as it's coming down and we're outside of the channel, I'm going to enter as soon as we cross back into the channel over this purple linear regression moving average when that bar closes. I use stochastic RSI for overbought and oversold conditions, and I also use Williams percent to decide whether or not we're in a strong continuation. I do not use it for overbought and oversold. I'm looking for these nice areas to stay in my trades, and once we start to pierce and come down, then I know that we're moving out of this nice trending move. So as far as the details of the strategy goes, after you get my Telegram posts, if you're a member of the private group, and as I said before, you can look for details on joining the private group by going to the website and just clicking join. We enter either at market after I post my projected trades on the Telegram private channel, or wait for the pullback price that I post and enter with a limit order. Monitor the supply and demand zones and the overbought and oversold conditions to tweak and modify those positions. If you just put the numbers in, set and forget, you'll get in many of the trades. You might miss some, so if you have an extra hour or two to monitor these before you get in, you can tweak and slightly adjust it. And when I say adjust it, I'm typically adjusting my entries or exits just on the inside or the outside of supply and demand zones, as well as the channel that's on the chart, and I'm keeping an eye on the overbought and oversold. The first target is a high probability target. When we get in at an outside bar for a short, I'm looking to get right out as soon as we get to the opposite end of that channel, okay? super high probability for positive ticks, and that's how we have such a great win rate. There is an extremely high probability with an outside bar statistically that we're going to get to the opposite side of that bar. And this is always after I evaluate the currency strength in the global markets to get my bias, okay? So when you get my posts, you'll see shortly, you're either going to have a list of currency pairs for longs or shorts or both, and that is based on the day's activity, the news that's coming out, the news that's already come out, as well as overall currency strength and comparison between the different currencies for the individual pairs. So first target's a high probability, and then I always put an additional target on. You can if you want as a runner, and you can follow that runner either trailing it by price, by the supply and demand zones, or attaching it to an actual indicator. And I typically use the linear regression moving average when I'm attaching it to an indicator. Now here's what the Telegram signals look like. So for example, on this day, back on the 17th, there were 4 long trades that were posted. And if we look at this one in particular, the Aussie yen, you can see this was my post, and this is what my entry was the following day. I did wait for the pullback, got in right at that 95.802, grabbed a quick 46 pips, and then the runner as well for a total of 83 pips. And at a half of a lot, that's almost $300, okay? So you will get posts like this if you're a member of the private Telegram group every night between 6 and 8 p.m. Eastern Time, going into the overnight session for the U.S., or that's going to be just ahead of the Asian Open, the Tokyo session, then the London session going into New York. These projections, my bias is typically good for 12 to 24 hours. It may play out very quickly in the Tokyo session or the London session. If we hit our targets in the Tokyo session, it's not unusual to see a reversal in the London and then come back around in the New York. So there are times that I will let these trades run all through the New York session to maximize my profits. Now, if we take a look last week, we had a ton of news. I was kind of expecting a bit of a flip-floppy week, and we had ups and downs all over the place. So it was a fairly tough week to manage with lots of inflation and interest rate news. But here are our results, despite the fact that we had some sideways movement, some unexpected news. We still netted a total of 625 pips altogether. This is the first trade post of the week on the 22nd with an easy 132 pips. And then the following day, we knocked out almost 300. The 24th, we had our unexpected news come out. So we had a bit of a red day, but certainly limited it based on nice, well-placed stop losses. The Wednesday night trades, we had a bunch of trades just take off, and clear indication not to jump in either at market and probably that we were not going to get our pullback entry. I'll show you those charts. And then wrap the week up with some nice winners as well. As I said, for a total of 625 all together in the green for the week. So here is, let's see, as an example, let's take a look at the EUR NZD from the 23rd, just to show you how this plays out. This is going to be what my post was, and here's what my actual trade was. So on Telegram, you will have gotten this area, this little chart directly. And as you can see, I projected a short entry at 77477. So this line here is approximately 7 p.m. Eastern Time. That's where price was. This is a short trade, so we're looking at an entry at 77477. And it took through the entire evening to get that pullback, and we got that nice pullback right here in the early hours, okay? I am not even in front of the computer. This was a set and forget trade. We entered here. Interestingly, we had a beautiful entry outside of the band, but just to make sure we capture everything, my trade is just inside, right at the edge of this demand zone, as you can, supply zone, as you can see. And then we took a little bit of heat, nowhere near our stop loss, and we came down. This was my target, 1.76972. Okay, here's target, 1.76972, with a projected target pips of 51. However, this line down here is right about 6 a.m. I am always back in front of the charts at 6 a.m. When the London session is well into it, Eastern time. And as you can see, at that time, I took my target. We were nowhere near it yet. I took my target and moved it way down to the edge of the zone as well. Took a little bit of time, but after the New York Open at 8, we hit that new target, and that was for 97 ticks total, okay? So in this particular case, I would have been happy with my 51 pips right here, but because the trade played out and I was in front of the computer before it hit this target, I looked to grab some extra pips. So that's what I mean when you can adjust your targets as you see fit, understanding this strategy and how it moves, okay? And as I said, you can apply this strategy at any time on any parabolic moving instrument, okay? Indexes do not move like this. There are lots of other factors that come into play. You can see them play out like this from time to time, but most reliably, because of the huge institutional bank trading that goes on with currency pairs, as well as gold and oil, they follow parabolic movements much more consistently, okay? Alrighty, this week coming up, we have less of a crazy week. We are going to hear Chairman of the Fed Powell speak on Monday. That is always going to be important for the dollar as well as the indexes, so we'll keep an eye on that going into Monday night. We've got some European CPI news, and then relatively medium to high impact news globally through the rest of the week, but a huge number coming out on Friday, which is the first Friday of the new month, okay? That's going to be the U.S. unemployment rate. That is going to also be a big dollar mover, especially because we are in a presidential election cycle, okay? So that is it for this week. Another great week. Happy to have you send me any emails. Go to www.strategicdaytraders.com for some specials that we have there. We are also partnered with Financial Juice for some special offers with them as well. They are one of my favorite, if not the best, news source that you can use that most institutional traders follow throughout the day. I keep their chart open all the time because you want to be alerted to important news events, and especially hits and misses in the news, because that will turn currencies as well as the global markets on a dime. Great to be with you again, traders. Good trading, and we will see you in the next one.